Welcome to Glowing Success. My name is Heidi and I am your host. This podcast is for beauty entrepreneurs. Join me weekly as we dive into the beauty industry's ins and outs, from business strategies, top-selling services, and taboo topics. I will be interviewing industry leaders with empowering stories and game-changing insights. Let's illuminate your path to success together. Let's jump into this next episode. Welcome back to Glowing Success. I am so excited about my interview today, you guys. I'm having somebody on that I've known for a long time, and they're just a badass person. So without further ado, Coach Ivy, welcome.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um,
Yes.
I came on kind of quiet. That's not my personality at all. So I'm trying to ease my way in.
That's
But
okay.
thank
It's the
you. I'm
morning.
super excited to be here. I'm super, super excited.
Yay. Well, you are known as a badass business strategist. So I'm
Yeah,
so excited to have you on, because if anybody's listening that is feeling like they need a little bit of strategy in their lives, Coach Ivy's really good about aligning your passion with your purpose. So if you're listening and you're like, I am going to beauty school, or I'm starting a business, or I don't know if I want to go to beauty school, or I don't know if this is the industry for me, this podcast episode is for you, because Coach Ivy is definitely going to share some insights about how to align your passion with your purpose. So, what is your biggest tip for people when they're on that journey? What is your starting point, or what do you tell people when they are interested in aligning their passion with their purpose? And let's say they already have something they're passionate about.
totally. So I think first and foremost, as adults, we tend to forget that we're supposed to do what we love, not what we just can do or what we're good at doing. And then we tend to fall into these responsibilities where, oh, I'm good at that and I've been doing it for a while and I like it. It's not making me miserable, so I might as well just call that my passion. And in reality, it's not really your passion. It's you're complacent, right? And so I feel like if you truly want to feel fulfilled, where you're jumping out of bed, honestly, you're literally jumping out of bed because you know what you're about to do that day is serving somebody else, and you are totally just in it to win it. That's your passion. You need to figure out what you used to love to do. And that might look like something when you were 4 or 5. It might have been like I had a bag, like a garbage bag full of Barbie dolls that me and my sister just collected, raggedy ass Barbie dolls that had green marker all over their faces, like broken limbs. If they even had them, they may have been mismatched, okay? But we only cared about doing their hair. We didn't care about anything else. All we cared about were putting rubber bands in their hair until they were so ratted, like we couldn't do anything with them, and then we figured it out, and then we started cutting their hair, and then we were styling their hair. And, you know, I thought I loved to do hair. And then I got pregnant and I said, God, please give me a boy because I don't ever want to do hair. And now I have no hair because I don't want to do my hair. So that hair is not my passion. It's not. But I had a passion when I was young, and it was teaching. And although I'm not a teacher, I am a teacher. I teach in a very different capacity as a transformational life coach, as a badass business strategist, and I guide individuals to connect their passion to their purpose and help them monetize that, right? I help them create
Yeah.
balance in their lives. However, I had to be intentional about what does that look like, because there are a lot of things I've done, a lot of skill sets I've acquired, a lot of companies I've worked for, but I was never fulfilled. What is it that I love to do? I love to help people, but I love to teach people. I love to help people do what? Learn.
Yeah.
How does that work for me in all the things that I've acquired from a skill set perspective? And what do I absolutely love doing? I love working with entrepreneurs.
I know. I'm the same way. I mean, with my coaching, it's like you get so excited because a lot of times, and I don't know if you find this, but a lot of times people we just don't see. So when I've worked with a coach in the past and I've had my coach on, I I always say we don't see what we don't see, right? And so
Yes.
like we can't see some of the things in our own business or our own lives that are so obvious to an outside person, but we're in it, right? So we're in the mess, we're in the, the hustle, we're in our minds, we're in our daily
Mhm.
struggle to the point
Mhm.
where sometimes we can't really focus or see what's right in front of us. And so I think
Totally.
that's what's amazing about being a coach is like we are helping draw that out. So it's like we're not telling you what to do. We're not, you know what I'm saying? Like we're not
Mhm.
necessarily there to discover something that wasn't already inside of you. So like I
Right.
love that you touched on that topic because like it's so true and really getting that confidence, right?
Mhm.
Like I think
Mhm.
a lot of it's just like that validation of somebody else being like, "Why aren't you doing this?"
Yeah,
Right?
that's the stepping stone.
Right, 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 right.
That's like the
That's good.
hello, why you so
The
you
realization.
have the two people, the one person that knows they can say it out loud. They know what their purpose is, but they don't have the confidence to go for it. Okay. And then you have the person that is like, I'm so fucking miserable right now. I hate everything about my job and I'm so invested. I'm gonna stick it out until I retire. Like this is just what I'm gonna be miserable for the next 17 years. I'm just gonna do it. And they will complain for the next 17 years. They'll make every person in their circle, family and friends, miserable because they have to hear about it for 17 more years. And then they retire and they're still miserable because they never took the time to figure out what they actually love to do. Right? Okay. Two people. So
Yeah,
it's like, you know, or you don't, and you don't care.
yeah,
Or we might have that one individual that's like, hey, I'm not really sure, but I'm willing to figure it out. Can you help me? But they're so far in between because a lot of time you do know. You just have it, you've tucked it away because you
yeah,
want to be comfortable.
yeah,
No, let's get this show on the road. Like, let's be
yeah,
happy. Let's be
yeah.
happy.
Well, life
I
is
want to,
short, so let's be honest,
yes.
like, you gotta be happy, and there's really and, the deeper part of it is who knows how you're going to impact somebody else, right? So when you step into that, when you step into maybe your purpose from your
Hmm.
passion, you don't know the impact that you're going to have in somebody else's life, that ripple effect, right? We always think about
Yep.
that. And so sometimes it is about like maybe serving, right? And sometimes it's about, and especially in the beauty industry, like we're all about serving others, right? Like you got to
Hmm.
be kind of a
Hmm.
people person to be in this industry and, a little bit. I mean, we
Kind of,
kind
you
of
definitely do.
Kind of. And so, if you think about it from that perspective too, is like, how many other people can I help with the passion that is driving inside of me? Now, sometimes I will say like finding your passion in life can be tricky, right? Because
Oh
like you were
man.
saying earlier, like we might have a lot of different ways that we take our life path and there's some of them are necessary because like, yeah, maybe you had to get a job to pay your bills or maybe you have
Hmm.
to do this or maybe you forgot about that passion until somebody ignited it inside of you, right?
Yes.
And so I
Yes.
will say, like, so you as a relatable coach, and I know that that's kind of thrown around online, which I do love because I do think sometimes being a coach can intimidate people, right?
Hmm.
Because they think that there's like a structure to things and all these different things. And it's like, we're just
Yeah.
people too, but we're just going to help you, dive that out of you. So
Yeah.
maybe if somebody's interested in trying to find how to utilize and monetize their passion,
Mhm.
what is their first step when it comes to when they book with you?
So first step is okay. I, I'm not your typical coach. So I've invested tens of thousands of dollars in professional and personal development for myself. I've had coaches. I think investing in yourself through coaching is very important. And finding a mentor, they're not the same thing. Okay, they're not the same type of person. And so being able to differentiate that is very important. So when someone books with me, they're booking a path to purpose consultation, which another coach might call a discovery call. But for me, you're going to get value out of it, even if you decide not to work with me, because I need to fully understand. And as an intuitive and an empath, I already really know where it's going to be going in terms of what you should be doing with your life. And I'm not going to have you work with me if I'm not the best resource for you. I'm not going to tell you you should work with anybody if you already got what you need. Doesn't make sense, right? And I'm also not going to sugarcoat anything, which is why I'm not your typical coach. I cuss a lot. I don't
That's all right.
apologize for it. But I'm also an ordained minister. So I give a lot of messages that come from the creator, the universe. I'm not a religious person, but I'm very spiritual. And so I want everyone to understand that their purpose is driven from their passion, but ultimately it's to serve other people. No matter what it is. If you're making candles, you're making candles to serve someone, but you just love to do it. It's your passion, it's your purpose, right? So when they come to me, I am trying to understand what their biggest challenge is right now. Is it just procrastination? Because to me, procrastination is self-doubt. Well, where did that self-doubt stem from? Because maybe it's just where you're at right now, what you're currently experiencing with your 9 to 5. Maybe they've got you so exhausted and so worn out. Maybe they give you a terrible like annual review and they like, your self-confidence kind of, it's down, right? They're not even related to your passion though. So why are we worried about that? And for me, I always tell people if you're getting rejections, you're getting objections, it's just redirection. It's just another sign for you to see you should be doing something else that fulfills you. You should be turned off right now and rerouted over here, right? Don't be upset, don't be sad, don't feel like you're less than. It's okay. You need to be looking elsewhere. You have a purpose and what you're doing just is not it. It was temporary.
Yeah.
So we talk about what is the biggest challenge? What is your biggest desire? What do you want out of working with me,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
I have different types of clients. So I have solopreneurs that they have like 4 different like visions, like, but they've never run a business before. They've never stepped out on their own before. And they're like, I have all these great ideas and I want to do something. And then I work with them to figure out they're all great ideas, honestly. Like they're excellent and they can all be highly monetized. But
Right.
I will not work with someone if it's not their passion. I don't care how much money it's going to make. It just makes sense to me. So I figure out if any of them are truly their passion. And usually one is. And then I help them understand how it's their passion. And then we move on from there.
Which is beautiful because honestly, like sometimes people, what I tell people too when they're coming up with different strategies is we have to thought map a little bit, right? Like you have to write things down or you have to like, and,
Totally.
and don't have an organization to it, right? And just write what's ever in your intuition, right? What is
Yes.
really the truth to, what are you feeling the most excited about? Like you were saying earlier, what are you feeling like, man, I've been thinking about this for a long time, or what always seems to come up. That's the other thing that I always try to spot on is like what
Yep.
seems to always come up, or when do you feel like you're having your best days, or so forth. But I think like this is really important for the beauty industry and anybody in the beauty industry. So even if you're like, so obviously we're speaking a lot to entrepreneurs, we're speaking a lot to people who are maybe wanting to start their own businesses, but this could really apply to even anybody that's just looking at different ways to work in the industry. So whether they're going to be an employee or not, I think it's really good for us to explore these things because,
Hmm.
in the industry, you really are going to be successful. So I always tell people this with marketing too, is if you are an expert in something, right? So
Hmm.
like, I kind of always, it's one of the things I use in one of my classes is like, so when you're looking at an ad and the ad's like, I do beauty services. Well, what kind of beauty services do you do? What do you specialize in? Are you good at
Help me
something?
understand.
Right, right. And so like it's the same thing with like just succeeding in this industry is like you do need to hone in on something that makes you passionate and it gets you
Hmm.
excited and gets all those feelings going. And so I think that hiring a strategist or hiring a coach, like is so important and vital for making those decisions quickly and effectively,
Oh
but
gosh, yes.
also it just helps, I don't know, clear the fuzz of what the brain can make up.
You
And
got
like you were
it.
saying earlier, like there's a lot of things that we have going on. And so I do think that that's, it's vital for moving in a direction. Um,
Yes.
and and with that moving in a direction and being passionate and doing all the things, you are going to be successful in that, because yes, the money will come. Yes, the
Mhm.
the people will come. The people will book with you because they're seeing that passion. And I always like to touch on too, like I've been to service providers because I am a big supporter of being a client sometimes, because when you're a service provider for so long and you're not a client to a person you don't know, it's hard to understand that client journey and that client experience because we're so far away from it, right? So I always tell people, like, maybe once a year, if you can afford it, try to be a, a customer to somebody you don't know. And it could be
Yeah.
something simple, it could be like a brow wax, it could be whatever. Anyway,
Mhm.
but what I'm trying to get to that is, if you've ever had an experience where you are just somebody's number in their day, and I always tell people, like, have you ever had an experience or gotten a service done where you just felt like you're the third customer of that person's day? You weren't really feeling important. You weren't really feeling like that appointment was, as important it is to you as to them. And so
Yeah.
I think, like, those are the times where you're thinking, like, yes, maybe that service provider could be busy and successful and passionate, but they're not showing it on the outside. So I do feel like sometimes, like, this type of environment that you set up for your clients, it really fosters them to say, hey, like, show that passion to others, right? I
Yes.
mean, like,
Yes.
and there's so much more that can come with that. Now, let's talk a little bit about, not to shift gears too much, but I would love for you to share some, if you have maybe a success story or something like that to share with the people listening, of like how your coaching or how your strategy has helped clients of yours and like maybe propelled them in the direction that they are seeking.
Yes. So I'm very picky when it comes to working with clients. I think I just mentioned that. However, I I live with intention. So I feel like the past like 6 or 7 months or so, I was just talking to a friend of mine yesterday. I feel like I attract organically now the people that are looking to work with a coach like me or a strategist like me, and it's a mutual, it works well. So I've been having some fun over the past few months. um, it's just been really fun. So I'm a transformational life coach. So when I transition that into the business strategy side, I don't work with clients that have small issues. Does that make sense? So I need complex. Give me the challenge. Like, challenge me. Like, let's do something big, right? So if it's big, let's talk about it. If it's we're good. Let me give you some tips. Do this. Like, come back to me if something changes. Like, okay. So, client owns a med spa and an urgent care facility. It's all in one. Um, To be honest, I've never seen that setup before this. I just haven't. It's different for me. Um, and the only from a business perspective, the only experience I've had is me owning my spray tanning business that you so generously certified me to know what I was doing years ago.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you. And it was
yes.
successful. I thank you. I appreciate that. So, seeing an urgent care and a med spa in one, different. Um, and it was solopreneur, one guy running the show. However, he's like not cutting it. When he came in, he was not cutting it, meaning he's had this for 4 years. He's even changed locations to expand and offer more services, but not meeting even at the end of the month, every single month, like just barely breaking even. Beautiful facility though, lots of services. Help me understand. But then it became very clear that he did not have a target market. He also had so many services and decided that because he didn't want to utilize social media, that clients were just supposed to walk in the door. It doesn't work like that. And then he was adamant about hiring someone to do social media, even though he's done it before and produced no result. So I had to help him understand the why. You can hire someone to do your social media, but if you don't know who you're marketing to, it's not going to matter because what they're going to need to know what you want to market. And it was very difficult for him to understand that. So I had to take a step back and we had to start all the way. Like he's been doing this for actually it was more than that. So since 2019. So 5 years. And I had to take him all the way back to why did you start this business? What's your story? Where did
Yes.
this name come from? Why
I
do you have this
love this.
logo? What's your branding? What does this mean to
Yes.
you? If you weren't doing this, what would that mean to you? Who wouldn't be helped? Who would you not be able to serve? Like all the way back, because if you don't have a mission, if you don't have a story, you don't have a brand story, a brand voice, like you're not really here. You just you just have a presence that is unknown, right?
Yeah. And we've all seen businesses like this where it's like we know that the business is owned by somebody that just wants to be a business owner. And that's okay if that person has already run a business and they understand about all those things. But when you're trying to run a business or start to even grow a business and you don't have that framework figured out, it's going to be very difficult. And like he saw, right?
Oh, it's so difficult. Yeah. So he thought he was coming in to me going to just give him all these great marketing strategies. We're not doing that. We're so far away from that right now, sir. We're not doing that. This is what we're going to do. And so once I got him to understand that, which the way I put things because I don't sugarcoat it, he already had he already had a whole story as to why. I mean, when I say like a story, my mind was already blown. I said, so then why don't we know that? That's nowhere on any of your material. It's not online. Like, help me understand. You're not even online. Your LinkedIn says you have one employee and it's not even you. And you are the only actual employee. What are we like? What do you? I was like, are you hiding from somebody? It's like, no. I'm like, okay. So I helped him revamp this. That only took like 4 days. Okay. Because he already had the story. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer if you want to, because if you just come up with a name and a cute logo, then we need to revamp completely. It needs to be substantial, right? Some substance in there. Um, and I found out he's been doing this for 5 years and he never set a budget. He never had any projections.
I talk about numbers all the time with people and they're usually scared of them and they hide away from them. It's a common thing. Very
So I'm going
common.
to tell your audience the same thing I tell all of my clients. If you're scared of the numbers to project, you are scared for those numbers to go up in your bank account.
Yeah, I
You're
agree.
not going to get the money if you can't plan to get the money. It's a reality.
Yeah.
It's a
And
reality.
and it's good to have a plan. Like it's good to have even a something of an imaginary plan, let's say. So you don't necessarily know sometimes those numbers until you start doing stuff. But like I always tell people like if you don't have a direction to head, where are you heading? Kind of in a sense, right? Like it's not exactly
Yes.
that, but you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
yes, we can break it all the
right?
way. Like this, if you can guess jelly beans in the jar in third grade for
Right.
some damn jelly beans, I need you to
Yes.
guess how much money you want in your bank account because you want that money in your bank account.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And
Let's
making
do
those
something.
goals, well, making those goals, it's some people shy away from it for other reasons, but I will say, like, some people just don't know how to figure out those goals. And so that's where you come in, is like,
Mhm.
I'm going to give
Mhm.
you a little bit more structure. I'm going to focus on this. I mean, this experience that you're talking about sounds like it was amazing for him. Like,
It
it
was.
sounds like it was a
And it's still
whole,
going. It's still
yeah,
going,
for
but
sure, for sure.
he had a lot of reservation in the sense of he was ready to just give up. I mean, he was at the wit's end of everything because he didn't have any other support. You know what I mean? And he wasn't looking for me. I just had some questions because I'm nosy. Like if I operationalize, if I see things, I'm like something's weird. Like can I ask you a couple questions? Like it always happens that way. Like can I ask you something? And I'm like, I knew something was off. Now I get it, right? So we figured out for him to be comfortable sharing his brand story and the mission behind it. Okay, that was the first thing, him being comfortable doing that. Okay, and then identifying an actual market. Like the niche is different. That's surface level, but who are you going to talk to every time you create that ad?
Yep.
Who are you going to resonate with? Who?
Yeah.
It cannot be like 55,000 different personalities.
No. And the more narrowed in, so I was listening to a podcast the other week, and the person that was speaking basically said, when you do your marketing, you need to do your marketing like you're speaking directly to the person that you want to, like
Yes.
you're having a direct conversation with the person, not
Mhm.
like a generalization, like you're saying. Like, right, like
Mhm.
you need to narrow in. Yeah, I
You have
agree.
to.
You
You
have to,
have
and like
to.
really speak to that result, really speak to the emotions that you're wanting to set,
Mhm.
really speak to, like, how do you want your client to feel after they're done? Or, there's so many different ways to do marketing, but like, I
Mhm.
agree with you. Like, you gotta really, like, zero
You
in
have
on it.
to. You
You
have to
Yeah.
because I say everybody is not for you. I'm not for everybody. Everyone is not for you. You do not want everyone as your client. I don't care what you do. You can do microblading. You can do spray tanning. You can style hair. But trust me, if you've ever not had a great client, okay, love to meet you. Okay. You don't want everyone to be your client because everyone is not meant to be your client. Okay? That's just it. So you as the professional and the expert, you actually get to pick who you want to be your client. You have all of the power to do that by actually setting your zone on what that client sounds like, what they want and what you can deliver, okay? Meet their expectations. Would you love to chit chat with them? Downtime, okay? There's a lot of waiting. There's waiting in the industry. You don't want them in your chair when you're not performing the service. These are things that you need to think about. And those, you put all those clients that you've had in the past together and you think about it, you're like, you know what? That's my ideal client, like the cool chicks. I like cool chicks in my chair, right? Or I like the clients that come, sit down, they want me to play quiet music, and they don't want me to talk to them. That way I get to play games on my phone when they're getting their services, right? Like you get to pick what kind of client that is, and then you craft your messaging to them.
Yeah. Yeah. And really attract. And
That's
really
it.
attract.
That's how you're going to attract them.
It's so funny because, when I say to people, like, that part is actually fairly easy once we work you through it, right? But at the same time, yes, there's a lot of different ways you can market with your story, with that attraction type method. Like,
Hmm.
and so that's where it can get a little fuzzy too, but that's where you carry them along in that process as well. And so I think,
Totally.
being a coach and a strategist, there's something to be said about that, because they are very different. Like,
They
coaches,
are.
we could guide you, and then a strategist actually gives you that plan.
Yep.
So I think there's something transformational about that. And I love that you use that. And it's because it is a transformation. Like, you're trying
Hmm.
to help them get to the other side. And that other
Yes.
side is going to feel very new and different because you haven't done it before and you haven't done it that way. But guess
Hmm.
what? You're going to hold their hand. I'm going to hold their hand. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
so I
Yes.
love that. But there is nothing wrong with reaching out and getting help,
Oh my
with this.
gosh. No,
And
no, no.
I think for many of us, we don't know we need help sometimes. So maybe we're just digging the hole, so to speak, right? Like we're digging the dirt, and we're thinking we're going to come
Mhm,
upon something. And then somebody helps you. And
mhm.
so that's kind of cool how you found that client too, of like, hey, like, I could totally like relieve some of your stress for you. I could, and so there's something really cool that happened there, because obviously he had to accept that too, right? Like
Yeah.
we have to accept our help too. And so
Mhm,
I think for me, like I talk about this with the episode that I have with my coach, which happens to be my brother, because that's one thing that he does. But
mhm.
he was saying, like, early on when I was starting getting coached, I didn't really listen to him.
Mm,
Right? Like, I
mhm,
was in my own way. Like, I thought I knew a lot more about my industry and my business and the clients
mhm.
that I wanna, take in than he did. I was like, "Well, you've just been in this one part of this industry for a long time, like, you've done this." And, part of that came from because he's my brother, but, like, and so I had to switch hats a couple times. So I had to switch the hat of like, okay, this isn't my brother. This is like what he does for a living. He helps like
Yeah.
multi-million dollar companies do
Yep.
things. Like, I'm such a little fish in that pond. You know what I'm saying? But like, I had to put that hat on of like, this isn't my brother right now. This is who he is. And then I also had to just start implementing what he said, no matter what, because I was like, well, this person obviously has some experience with this. This person obviously has some information that they're giving me because they care about me, and they just are like, this is the roadblocks that you're experiencing.
Mhm,
And so once I started taking that advice, and once I started implementing it exactly how he said and all the things, oh my god, my business took off. And if I could show you the graph of like physically gross income, what I was making compared to when I started listening to him, crazy. And so I love that, but like we do have to get out of our own way sometimes. And so
totally.
I think, that's part of the process. So if you're listening and you're like, gosh, this is resonating so much with what these people are saying, and I'm really, really thinking this is probably what I need to do, just do it. Don't think twice
Yeah.
about it. Hire a coach, and obviously do your due diligence. Obviously,
Mhm.
we would like us to hire either of us, but I always tell people you got to do what's right for you. So
For
if I'm
sure.
not the right coach for you, and she's not the right coach for you, that's totally fine. There's going to be somebody out there that is, but I will say you are going to benefit from it. And
Mhm.
and kind of to recap earlier, it doesn't matter where you are in your journey. I know, like, there's probably people listening. If you're listening, you're thinking about going to beauty school. This could even be something to do before you even start beauty school, to
Yep.
drive that passion out, to really strategize like, okay, what am I going to do with this time, this education, and this idea that I have. Or if you're just getting out of beauty school, let's say, and you're thinking about all these things, or if you've been stuck in a job for a long time and you've been thinking about something, or if you're struggling as a solopreneur, or if you're struggling as a multi-employee business owner. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so many ways that a strategist and a coach can help you,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's something important that people don't realize, that like, you know, we're all different in so many ways, but like there is somebody out there that can help you with the problem that you think is very unique is not. And I feel
Yeah.
bad to say
9
that
times
because
out
I'm
of
a
10,
little,
it's not. And actually, like 99.9% of the time, everyone else has the same problem. They're just not vocalizing it.
yeah, yeah,
That's typically what it is. I mean, there's no shame. Like,
yeah,
seriously, there's just no shame.
yeah. And I think actually that was something I had to get over, was like, I am not as my business and my problems were not as unique as I thought they were, which
Mhm.
it sounds kind of funny to say that out loud, but like, but they're not figure outable, if that's a word. And so I think that's the other reassurance I want to hopefully pass on to anybody that's listening, is if you're going through a struggling moment, if you're going through a hard moment, if you're thinking you're on the edge of something great, you probably are, but like, just know that whatever you're going through, there is a solution, and
Oh
there is
gosh, yeah.
somebody out there that can help you. Now, so
Can I say
any
something?
yeah, you oh yeah.
You've rung so many bells. I'm trying to like zip my lips over here. Okay, so first of all, totally, we always are the first person in our way. And then we stay there the longest because we don't let someone get in our way to help us get out of our way. Okay. Especially as women, and I'm sure there are men listening, but especially as women, we feel like if we want it done right, we got to do it ourselves. So it that translates to almost every area of our lives. If we're like, well, I have this problem that I'm dealing with, it affects me personally, so I'm going to handle it. And it might take me 45 years, but I will handle it on my own. Okay, thank you. Bye. But that does not do us any good when it comes to figuring out how to live like this abundant, prosperous, fulfilled life. That's not going to do us any good. We really need someone to come in. Like, we need someone, but we have to be humble enough to ask for the help because people, there are mind readers, but most people are not. They're just not. And you cannot be helped if you don't even want to be helped. So it wouldn't even matter. Like, you need to be okay saying you would like some help navigating what your next step could look like. Um, you know, a lot of the time we're doing a lot of things because we're trying to figure out what we like to do. I've done so many things, like, I mean, oh my gosh. And honestly, I liked all of them. But I did know that they weren't all my purpose. They weren't all my passion, but they all helped me in some way, like acquire these skills, right? Regardless, no matter what you do, you have to be your authentic self. So it is different how you touched on like being a strategist and being a coach. They are very different. So it took me time to be able to cut off, as a coach, I'm not going to tell you what you need to be doing. That's not the way coaching goes. I'm not going to do that. And typically the clients that I work with, they're not the business strategy clients because I'm helping them transform something in their life that's usually always about them being comfortable with being their authentic self. It's confidence building, it's empowering them to shut down everything that society has put upon them from an expectation perspective. And we're going rogue because why not? I mean, you should be you, you should love yourself, and everyone should love you for who you are. Otherwise, if you're not living your life, whose life are you living? I'm confused. Okay. Love yourself. Let everyone love you the way that you love yourself. And that's
Yeah.
what we're going to do. And
Yeah.
that's the transformational coaching piece of it. But as a strategist, we're not coaching. This is what
Right.
needs to happen.
Yep.
And this is why it needs to happen. And now I'm going to guide you and empower you to make things happen the way you want them to happen.
Yeah.
This is your show. And if you don't like the way I've strategized,
Yep.
perfect. Let's make it work for you, how it's
Yeah.
comfortable for you in your authentic self
Yeah.
way.
Because
I'm never doing
implementation,
anything.
yeah. Yeah. Well,
No,
because
I'm just not.
implementation is important, like you have to implement the things. And so I agree with you on that. Like if it doesn't feel authentic to you, even even the decisions down to like something small, if it doesn't feel authentic, you can't do it. And it's
You
not going to
cannot.
work. And the universe is going to push it back and you're going to have
Yep.
problem, and you're going to continue to kind of swirl, so to speak.
Yep.
So, or spin your tires. And
Hmm.
and so I like that too because it is definitely the root of a lot of things. And
It is.
and sometimes, meeting with somebody to help you think through that process and really come up with that is important as well. Like
Yeah.
because there can be a lot going on, right? To the point where we just have a lot of thoughts in our day. We have a lot of thoughts going on. We're having a
And
lot of
judgments.
pressure and judgment of ourselves and
Oh
judgment
my
from others.
gosh.
And so I do agree with you that like there's so much more to it. So if you're
Hmm.
listening, these are all good little nuggets for you to pick up. Now, Coach Ivy, anybody that is listening and they're like, "Man, I really want to work with her. Like she's amazing. She's speaking to my soul. I'm so excited." Where can they find you? Where can they find more information about you?
Yes.
And where can they touch base with you?
Okay. So for some reason or another, people have like totally bashed Facebook nowadays. However, I am a business strategist, so just trust me. I have been on Facebook more so lately, And so I am on there as Ivy Monroe. Otherwise, if you go to facebook.com/relatable.coach, that's me. So you welcome to follow me, add me as a friend, message me. I'm there. My website is heycoachivy.com. We're in the works right now because, oh my gosh, my website crashed last week, and pretty exciting, but not so much because it put a little more work in for me. So I'm doing some updates, but I'm there. So heycoachivy.com.
Yep.
And also, if you want to check out some of the services that I have and schedule a Path to Purpose consultation, calendly.com. And that's going to be /coach_Ivy. And you can book with me there.
And of course, I'll put everything in the show notes. So if you guys are interested, you'll be able to click on any of those links that she had mentioned. But thank you so much for being on
Thank
today.
you. It was great.
It was awesome. Thanks again for
Thank
listening.
you.
I hope you liked that episode and found something useful or a tip that you can use immediately. If you are wanting more marketing tips, business tips, or anything like that, I have a lot of resources on my website. So I have PDFs that you can download for free. So look in your show notes. There should be a link in the show notes that you can click on, and it'll take you right to my coaching website. And thanks for listening.